Last week, I spoke about something every content creator or small business owner faces at some point: how to deal with keyboard warriors and online negativity. If you've ever received a negative comment and it stung, then this is an episode that you're going to want to listen to. Now, in this week's episode, I'll be interviewing Sausha from Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. And if you already follow Sausha, I know that you are completely inspired by her beautiful posts of her home decor, some of her home projects that she's working on and tackling. But she is the owner of several milk paint companies, including Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. I can't wait to jump into this interview and get to know Sausha and find out how she decided to run a milk paint company.
Welcome to the Rescued and Upcycled podcast with weekly inspiration, tips on trying new techniques, and overall real talk about owning your own DIY business. Now here's your host, Sonnet Ullenbrook.
Welcome back to Rescued and Upcycled. I'm your host, Sonnet Ullenbrook. I want to thank you all for joining me on my podcast. If you guys are new here, I do interview creatives or small business owners every other week, and then I just love talking about all things small business. So I hope that I've been inspiring you along with my guest hosts. And like I mentioned earlier, today I'll be interviewing Sausha from Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. And I first discovered Sausha when my viewers were asking me to offer a milk paint line, and they suggested that I offer Sweet Pickins. I did a poll, and by far everyone loved Sweet Pickins. So I bought some and tried it out, and I loved it, and I then became a stockist. I started to follow Sausha and loved her vintage style and her daily posts of what was going on at her home. Whether she is in her greenhouse, creating pottery, or tackling a home decor project, I was always inspired, and I'm so excited to have her on my podcast today. So let's bring her on. Welcome. Thanks so much for being on my podcast today. So for my viewers and listeners, So for my viewers and listeners who haven't had the opportunity to have met you yet, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Sausha, and I'm the owner of Pickins. I started my business just painting furniture, refinishing furniture. I think my husband was deployed then, and so just me and my friend, we just started just painting for us. We had an unfinished basement, but my craft room was finished, and I wanted to just do like a hutch. So I just bought some furniture off of like local yard sales. I spray painted it. Like that's how, I spray painted a whole hutch. I don't even know how many cans of spray paint we went through. But anyway, so it all started there, and I was just spray painting in my basement, and then that's where it started. So, okay. And here I am now.
You are. Okay. So let's really from spray painting to milk paint, what first inspired you to start, where did it all start? Let's start there in the beginning. How did you start Sweet Pickins?
So after the little spray painting phase, I started moving into other paints, and I refinished a bunch of furniture for myself. And then it just got to be where I didn't need anything for myself, but I still liked the process of it. And so I started listing it on our local classifieds for sale. And then at this time, I know that my husband was deployed, and I ended up starting a blog at the same time too. And that's when like home decor blogs were really popular, and furniture refinishing blogs. And there was all these share parties. I don't remember those, but like you would share your project like every week and get featured on other blogs. And so that's kind of where it all started. So between doing that blog, and I actually did this blog in secret, I didn't even tell my husband, because I'm like, I'm just going to see how it goes for a while before I tell my husband what I was doing. So between starting this blog and sharing it and just gaining followers, and then also taking this furniture that I painted and listing it on our classifieds, and it was selling fast. And then I started getting, after a few months, I started getting like commission jobs. And then after a few months of that, I was booked out on commission jobs for like 3, 4, 5 months at a time. And so I finally told my husband about this, and I think I did this for a couple years. So I was a court clerk. I worked that job for years, and I loved it. But I would come home, paint furniture to sell, do my like home DIY projects that I would post about. And then after a couple years, like I was so busy just doing that on the weekends and evenings. And I finally decided just to quit my daytime job. I was making more money refinishing furniture than I was at my daytime job. So I knew I could just continue with that. And I'd given it a good shot. It was like a year and a half or so of doing that. So I made the decision to quit my good government job. And I think it was like maybe a year later of doing that, I tried milk paint for the first time. And as soon as I tried milk paint, I just loved it. And I knew, like, I used it on maybe, I don't know, I can't remember now, maybe like 6, 7, 8 pieces or so. And this is my favorite paint I'd ever used. There was nothing like milk paint. Or I'd never used anything like milk paint, and it wasn't popular at the time. And it just gave such a pretty finish, like unlike any other paint. So my husband ended up contacting the old-fashioned milk paint company, who was the brand that I was using. And we decided to see if we could private label it. And so that's where that started.
Oh.
So we private labeled under the Sweet Pickins line. I still use their packaging. I did all of their original, I think they had 20 colors at the time. So I stuck my Sweet Pickins label on it. And then I had created a website. And so we were able to just sell off the website. So that's kind of where.
That's how it all started. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So then in the end, because now you offer, I saw on the site too, that do you own all of it? The old fashioned? And yes, you do. Okay.
Yeah. So what happened, so I private labeled it, and I was only planning on selling to just like my followers, because obviously when I would paint something, people would ask, what's that color or whatever. And I had moved from spray paint, and then I moved into regular latex paint, and then I went into lacquer. And so when I was using, and that was all easy to tell people, and then but it got harder as it went on, like moving into lacquer, it's a little bit more of a specialty finish. Not a lot of people are set up to use lacquer. But it was, when I went into milk paint, people were still, asking me, what's that paint you're using? So when I started my Sweet Pickins line, I just got lots of these customers that are asking, like, what is milk paint? So then they could go get it themselves. But I was never planning on having retailers. I never even thought of anything like that. But as soon as within a couple months of starting it, I just had all of these retailers coming to me. They wanted to carry it in their booths and boutiques and things like that. So I don't even remember the question you asked me now. So that's where it started. So
how you bought everything. Then you bought it. Yeah. So then did they offer you the whole company? That's how that was?
Yeah. So I started my Sweet Pickins in 2014. And then so then we started all of our own custom colors. After a couple years, like I started making, I think we now have like 30, I can't remember now, 34, I think, additional colors on our Pickins line that the old-fashioned milk paint company doesn't have. And so with all those additional colors and just the volume of sales I was doing every month, we became Old-Fashioned Milk Paint's largest customer.
Okay.
And so in 2018, I think it was, they decided to just move on to something else, retire from the company. But because I was their largest customer, they asked us if we wanted to, if we'd be interested in buying it. So we thought on that for a while. And then in 2019, we actually we had to go through the whole small business loan procedure. And luckily my husband, he had taken he has a master's in business. And so he was able to do all of the projections and all of that, like the business plan, everything for the bank, because that's not my department at all. Like I'm a creative person, like the numbers is not for me. So anyway, so in 2019, we ended up buying out the Old-Fashioned Milk Paint Company, and they were in just right outside of Boston. And so we went back there a few times and learned the whole process of making it, the equipment, all of that stuff. And then like 6 months later, we moved it here to Utah.
Okay.
And here we are.
It's
No.
Wow. That is like, and I just have to say, girl, I know all about the numbers thing. Like I keep saying that too. Like I'm a creative. I don't like numbers. I always say to my husband, can't you get a little bit better at numbers so I don't have to deal with it? 'Cause I just want to make things beautiful.
Right.
But
I know. I wish I didn't have to think about any of that stuff, but
I know.
I do.
I know. I'm starting to realize that as my business is growing, I have to as well. So I have to figure out all the things.
No fun though. Yeah, it takes all the creativity like right out of it. Like I just want everybody else to do that kind of stuff for me. I just want to do the pretty stuff. So
yeah. So now when you guys moved it to Utah, and I think Jamie Ray told me that it's right on your property. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it all kind of worked out really well. So at the same time that we made the decision and we got approved for our small business loan, we were also building our house. And so we have 5 acres. Our property is 5 acres. And we were able to add on our shop. I think it's like 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet. And then that is attached directly to our house. So it's like a little side part, but I just, my closet in my bedroom, I have a little secret door and it just leads right out into my shop. So, so that's a nice little commute for me in the morning.
Yeah.
So we were able to build that at the same time we built our house. And so as soon as the shop was done, we moved all the equipment and all the material and everything here to Utah. So in that shop, we have like our office where we, configure stuff. Then we do our shipping, the paint mixing, the paint packaging, and we store all of our raw materials. And then a couple years later, I built an additional shop because I hadn't been able to paint furniture or anything like that. So then I built an additional shop on the back of that one that's not attached. So, and that's where I have set up for furniture refinishing, when we used to build furniture, and then my pottery studio.
Okay.
Back here. That's where I'm in now, my pottery.
Oh, your pottery. Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah.
I was on your Facebook page and I know that you talk about going up there and playing. Well, you say I think it's up there. I don't know why I always say up there, but yeah, you're playing in your studio. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's why. But then all of a sudden I saw that you had actually had a piece turned over and then it said Sweet Pickins. And I'm like, or Sweet Pickins Pottery or something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So do you
That's
sell your
really
pottery?
I want to. Okay. And I feel like I'm good enough now at it where I can do that. But I have all these grand plans. I have little collections I want to do and make and sell. But then I just get so busy with our milk paint side that I just don't get the time to do it. One day though, hopefully soon.
There's just never enough time in a day, is there? I mean,
I know.
I know I have grand plans as well, and it's just like doing the daily stuff sometimes. It's just a lot.
Yeah,
So,
it
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you first decided to private label, how did you guys come up with the name Sweet Pickins?
I don't know if you remember this show. It was called American Pickers. And it was these two guys, and they would go around the United States and find stuff and then resell it. And I think I was my husband in our family room, and I was decorating the Christmas tree, and I just heard that show in the background. And then the one shorter guy, can't remember his name, but he like said, "Oh, that's some Sweet Pickins," and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh, that's my name, Sweet Pickins." So
I
that's
love
where
it.
it came from.
I love it.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's funny how
yeah.
like little things will inspire you and totally you come up with your idea, your creative idea. So that's awesome.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so
That's
when
what
you
started.
so when you first started the business, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced in the early days of like taking everything over?
When are you talking about when I very first started Sweet Pickins, or when I took over
Yeah.
Old Fashioned?
Yeah, in like the very beginning, like the early days of like when you first took over the business, what were some of the, your big challenges that you had to face?
When I took over Old Fashioned, they weren't like I needed to bring it up into 21st century. Like they still had like a very old, like seriously an old, like 20-year-old website.
Okay.
They still had like their original 20 colors that were very like Americana, colonial colors,
Mhm.
which was good. That we need those colors, but there wasn't any trendy colors, or it very much appealed to people on the East Coast, but we
Mhm.
needed those lighter colors for people on the West Coast. So those were the two biggest things. So introducing more colors, kind of trying to work on like the social media with sharing more projects and custom photos, and then the website, that was a huge one. I mean, I'm still working on that. Like we have a brand new website and everything, and I like to do all of my own product photography, and just getting all of that done. It takes so much time. And then also a big thing was the old fashioned milk paint packaging. I don't have any clothes, but they had these little bags, and they were so cute. But it was like a little craft bag, but then it had a metallized foil bag inside of that. So it was basically like double packaging. It was extremely time consuming. So to package like 25 pints of milk paint, which is usually what they package at a time, it's considered a case, whatever. But it would take an hour. But to package 25 Sweet Pickins pints, it would take 15, 20 minutes. So we had to work. Yeah, so we had to work on all new packaging, get all new labels, and I mean that took a lot of time. So
Right.
just working with a graphic designer and getting everything redesigned and just kind of updated. So that's where all of my time went. So once we moved, once we sold our old house and we're building this house and this shop, I had to put all of my furniture painting on hold, and I still really, and it's been 5.5 years, and I still really haven't gotten back to it, just because I've been so involved with kind of the back end of the milk paint company.
Right.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is because I really, I had gone out when I first started offering Sweet Pickins. I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch some of her videos. I'm like, where are all her videos? Like you had been doing videos, and I'm like, well, I know. And I'm like, oh, I assumed you got really, really busy. So, but I saw that you said you're going to start going back in and taping again. So I love that.
Yeah. So we're finally, we had hired, so I have 6 people that work for me. And I finally hired another packager right now, and she does our shipping and helps package. And so, because I had to step in and do a lot of that over the last year, or not packaging, but doing the shipping and stuff like that, which I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get back, because when I'm painting and doing videos and posting about what I'm painting, we tend to sell more paint.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the goal, right? So I'm trying to get back to where I can be out here in the shop and paint and, be creative and do that kind of stuff. But I just need, we're very busy right now. So I'm just getting, it's just and then I'm the only creative person like in the business. Like it's just me, like everyone else is just, they're, just the packagers and their labor,
Right.
So it's only me. Like my husband's not involved in any of my business, and he's not creative like that anyway. So all of the video stuff, the product photography, like it's so hard to figure that stuff out. I did try. It just didn't work out. And so it's just, I have to make time to do it, but I need people that can keep up getting orders out, because that's most important.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I completely understand.
So that's my main goal, to get videos done. That's because milk paint is such a specialty product, and everyone loves videos. Like that's the thing right now. So I know that I need to get those paint videos done and published.
Right. Yes, because there are a lot of, so since I offer the Sweet Pickins in my monthly makers box, more people have been trying it and they're really loving it, but they're still, no matter how much I showcase it, they're scared. That scares them to death.
I know. People are so scared. But once they try it and they're like, oh, yeah, that's easy. It's just making, I'd say all the time, it's like making hot chocolate. It's just a powder and water. Like it's not, it's very easy, but it does have its nuances, so.
Yeah. I say, I know. And I like how sometimes it's a little bit of, unpredictable depending on what surface you put it on. And, but I just love the chippy, the crackle, all of that, all that goodness. So and I love that so smooth finish. So,
that's what I love. That final finish just makes it like butter. Like it's so smooth, and just the color variations within the paint, like no other paint does that.
I know. I love it. Oh, and everybody's been falling in love too with the oil waxes as well. So I've been really talking about those, and I think I'm a fan favorite of the dark.
Yeah, that is my all-time. I put dark oil wax on pretty much everything. Like I love it so much.
I know. I was going to do a project and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the clear oil wax. And then the dark one just kept screaming at me. No, pick me. So
I know, just adds that little bit of depth, and it's so perfect. I love it so much.
I know. And so I've been ordering more because people are loving it too. So that's really great. Yeah. So let's chat now about, so the stockist, or people were reaching out to you about being stockist. And so how many stockists do you have currently?
I don't know, honestly. I'm not the one that keeps track of that. I don't know. I think between Old Fashioned and Sweet Pickins, I think we're around 300 to 400. I'm not exactly sure, honestly. And it changed a lot too. Like during COVID, that really put a lot of people's businesses under. And I think at that time we lost like 150 or so stockists that just their businesses went under. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad. But I mean, yeah, I know COVID was such a weird time. Oh my Lord. So,
Yeah. I mean, our business did well, I think, because people were staying home. Like, we did well on our website selling to customers, but so many other, I guess we just got lucky with a product that people use at home when they were staying home. But then people that actually had brick and mortar stores, though,
I know.
it really affected. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, I think that's, and I think some people too are still fighting an online website. You know, a lot of the brick and mortars only are brick and mortars. And I'm like, they need to diversify. They need to have an online store. So,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So recently you just launched a spin-off of the Sweet Pickins with Jamie Ray Vintage. I hope I'm saying it right. The Bespoke. Did I say it right? Bespoke?
Yeah.
Okay. The Bespoke collection. And so where do you see that going in the future? Just have Jamie just keep on picking more colors?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll give it another. They're doing well so far. I think with Jamie's online presence, on YouTube, like, it's all going really well. So, and it's been fun to kind of bring someone else in and have them, like, just their idea of like their perfect colors and colors that they would use. So it's, someone else that's creative kind of come in, and like, she designed her label, like, and gave a lot of input on the label. And her and Zeb came here and we mixed up all of her colors. Like, she had ideas for all of her colors that she wanted. So she doesn't live too far from me. So so she was able to come in here and get that done. And but yeah, so far it's going really well. So I think we haven't really talked about like a timeline yet, but for sure we'll come out with maybe 6 more new colors for her, maybe in the winter. I really want to do, I have my own plans to do some more colors, not on our Sweet Pickins line. I think we're good on that for a while, but on our Farmhouse Finishes line that is made for walls. I really want to do some more kind of neutral, more updated colors that people can use on walls. And of course, you can use it on furniture too. I'm hoping to introduce that in the fall. But my workers, they don't want to hear about any more colors because we already have so many. So they complain when I talk about it.
Oh my gosh, I could only imagine. So I just want to just touch on the production part, or like all your workers. So let's say I put my order in and I order, 10 of this, 20 of this, 400 of this, or whatever it is. Do you have so much already like pre-made where they can just pick, or do they have to make things as they're going?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So we have we have like the big, industrial shelving, Costco, big, thick shelves. You know what I'm talking about? Like just your classic garage type, but they're really thick and deep. So those are all packed, usually full of, so we have the old fashioned milk paint line, Sweet Pickins, and then the Farmhouse Finishes. So, and then we have like, a bunch of shelves stocked with all of our liquids and all that kind of stuff. Usually they're pretty full and stocked. And so just every morning, when the customer orders come in, they'll go through those real quick and get all of the customer orders shipped out. And they'll work on retailer orders. And so usually, like, we have these little carts and they walk around the shop with their paper and pull the orders. But then obviously sometimes, like the big sample orders, like they don't have those all packaged. And so they, they're working on that right now, actually. So they get all of those packaged, and we have like, big boards that they follow. This is the colors that we need and the order packaged, and the order we need them in. And so then they'll work on getting those packaged and getting those shipped out.
So then as they're doing that, so basically they're doing it all. They're like, and they're mixing in the background. You have like a crew that mixes in the background and keeps like restocking and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So it's actually my son that works for me. So he works full time and he does most of the packaging. And then he also mixes the paint. So the paint has to mix for like 2.5 to 3 hours. So he can go put in a batch of paint to mix and then go back while paint is mixing and then go back and work on packaging the paint. And then we have another girl who she works full time as well. And so she will come in the morning for a few hours and, package up orders for shipping. And then if she has extra time, she'll go back and help him package up the paint that they need to get orders out. And generally, the plan is for me, I don't need to work in the shop at all. Like I just do some emails in the morning and computer work. And then I'm trying to come out here to my pottery studio is upstairs, but my painting and our workshop is downstairs from this level. Okay. So I try to come out here and do like my product photography or paint furniture, but it's not going so well right now just because we're busy. So I have to pitch in and help with the shipping and getting the orders out. So it's a good problem to have, but
it is. I know. I agree. But I get it. It is a good problem to have. And it's great that you guys are busy and that people are really hearing about Sweet Pickins. So out of your product line, I need to know, do you have like a favorite color or, maybe a couple favorites or your top 5?
Yeah, my favorite of all time is Sweetie Jane. That was actually our first custom color that I came out with that I mixed up. I named it after, so I have an old Volkswagen bus, and her name is Sweetie Jane. So, that was the color I mixed up was the color I wanted her painted because she needed to be painted. So that's why I named her that. So that's still my favorite, and it's still one of the very best sellers on the Sweet Pickins line is Sweetie Jane. That's my favorite. I also really like the color Juniper that we came out with. I think it's been like maybe 2 years ago now. And then Jamie's color called Kent. I really like that one. My favorite are like the kind of moody blue greens. Those are my favorite colors. Mm-hmm. And then the dark oil wax. That's my favorite finish.
Yes, absolutely. Talking about your Volkswagen, I have to, my mom follows you too. And so she's like, did you see her Volkswagen? Oh my gosh, it's so cool. She's going to be redoing it. I said, I know, I found out she's redoing it. And so so you painted it, Sweetie Jane. Did you paint it? Because it does look that color. Is it?
I never did. Nope, I never ended up painting it. I just to do the vinyl wrap. So that's the floral vinyl wrap.
Okay, so it's a vinyl wrap. That's what I was wondering. Yes, I was like, how did she get all those flowers on there? It's a vinyl wrap. Okay. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Would have been fun to have painted, but
yeah. Very cool. So what are you going to do?
I thought about for a while. Maybe I should. So the inside is mostly all ripped out already. So when we were building this house, for a while, I had like just a shop that we worked in that I bought, and it was away from our house. So it was just a shop that I would go to paint furniture and package milk paint and stuff over there. But anyways, when we had that shop, my dad was working for me. And then when he wasn't building furniture, I would bring the bus in and he ripped the whole entire thing out. But then he built, he put like wood in the ceiling and he put beadboard all around the outside. And I also got the cushions all recovered. So those are done. So mostly I just need to go in and paint the beadboard in there do the flooring, and I pulled out all the windows when I got the vinyl wrap done. So I just have a lot of putting back together to do and painting, just a lot of small things to do.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I was planning on taking 2 weeks off to get that all done, but I haven't been able to do that because we've been working on the paint orders. So hopefully next week I can start finishing that bus project.
right.
Because I'm not getting any younger, and so I need this bus done so I can drive it.
Right.
Yeah. I need to
Oh.
drive her. Yeah, it's been taking her for like 5 years now. So
Oh. But
yeah,
so she does run though.
Yeah, she has a brand new engine. Everything works really well, but
Okay.
I just need to get her back going.
Great. Oh, I love it. Well, I'll be following along and watching your progression, and hopefully and praying that you'll have a moment to get out there and play around and get in there and finish it. So
yeah,
good.
Hopefully next week.
Yeah. But it is a great thing that you guys are busy. I'm happy to hear that. So,
Definitely.
yeah. So back to the business now. What was one mistake or challenge that taught you the most about running your business?
I don't know. That's a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know about mistakes that I've made. I mean, my one big challenge is just finding the time, like we talked about. Like I need to get out and do the videos and stuff like that. So that's my big challenge right now. And it's so hard to give up control. Like I said, I tried to hire someone for product photography, but that just didn't. I had 2 people, in fact, and it just didn't work out. Like I don't know. I need my own vision. So it's hard to give up control of stuff, but maybe that needs to be done. I thought about hiring maybe like a videographer and an editor that could come in, and that would take it off my plate if I didn't have to edit the videos. So maybe that's something that I could do just to get the videos and stuff done. But then it's trying to find the time to make the time when someone's going to be here. Because what if we're slammed, I don't know. I don't know how all that would work. But so that's been my one big challenge, is just taking the time to get that stuff done. Because I know I need to so badly.
Yes. Well, and I'm glad to hear that you feel like you didn't make any mistakes. Because, sometimes
there's for sure mistakes, but nothing, no big mistakes that I can think of.
That's good. So tell me one of the most rewarding moments so far in your journey with Sweet Pickins.
Well, one of my most things that I am proud of is when I first started. I was maybe like a year and a half in. I started going on just like public, like local TV. But then I was called to be on the Nate Burke show, national TV. Okay. And so they flew me and my husband back to New York. And then I went on his show for like a furniture refinishing segment. And that was like national. He was on like right before Oprah, this was so long ago. So that was a popular show, and I loved Nate Burke. So I was really proud of that. Yes. And because it's so out of my comfort zone too. Like I think that's another thing too, why the videos, sometimes I kind of procrastinate on them, because I am not a public, like I don't like to be on camera. I don't like to talk on camera. Like I just want to be behind the scenes and post pretty pictures, like I don't want to.
Yeah.
So that's been I was very proud that I did that. And I said yes, because a lot of times I say no to things like that. Since then, I've been asked to do local TV quite a few times again, but it just makes me just so much anxiety. So I just have learned just to say no, and I don't do those things anymore, even though it maybe could be good for business. I don't know, but I just tell people no now. But yeah, so I was proud of that, and I'm just proud of my following that I've created. Like I feel like people, like just the community, like people are just so nice for the most part. People are just very nice, and it's like the same. I mean, not the same, but it's like I see familiar names all the time, so it's kind of just like a little community. Like on my Facebook page, especially, is where I feel that.
Yes, I love it when I read comments and I'm like, oh, like Natalie's back, or oh, Rachel, like I love it when I recognize their comments, and it just always, it feels so good too that they're rooting us on and they're loving our content that we put out, and so yes, I know.
That's nice.
I think too, when you post like behind the scenes, I just love that. And I think one of my favorite things recently that you did was, I can't remember your pig's name, but when he got into the green dye.
Gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Piper. Yeah.
Oh.
She's still green. Like they start losing their hair every she's not, you can't really tell she's green right now, but every summer they will lose all of their hair. And so yesterday I was picking off some of her hair, and her skin underneath is still all like dyed green. So it'll be interesting to see once she starts like really like losing all of her hair. But yeah, it was so funny. Yeah.
She's so stinking cute. I was like, oh my God. I just started laughing. I'm like, this is like the best photo.
And then I'm so glad I got that video.
Yeah. Yes. And then your little duck too. He's so cute. How is he doing?
He's doing good. Yeah, he's still gosh, the doctor the second time said keep him in quarantine for 2 weeks. And that is there was just no way I could keep him in quarantine for 2 weeks. So I gave him he was inside for like 6 days, I think. So I figured that was long enough for his antibiotic to kick in. And he'd already been living with his other girl ducks for like, the last month and a half since he was at the doctor before that, and they hadn't gotten sick. So I'm like, I'm just gonna chance it. So he's back out with his girls, and he seems to be doing really, really well. He's still tired, but he's doing good.
That's good.
But that was a fun little, it wasn't fun, but it was cute. Just showing his progress each day, so that was fun. All the people were rooting for him. It was cute.
Yes. I know. I would go out there and look. I'm like, what's he doing today? And then he's watching TV, or I think you had him watching TV or something.
I know. I put on like DuckTales, like YouTube videos, and he would just sit there and just watch those.
I know.
But yeah, I couldn't entertain him, so he had to keep himself entertained.
Right. Aww. So you have like on your property then like a little mini farmette? Is that what, like, you have a pig and then you have some ducks? Do you have chickens and other things too?
Yeah, so my shop here that I'm in, so downstairs is the painting, the woodworking, and then I built when we were framing it out, I built the pigs their own bedroom. So it's like just like 12 by 12. And so I have 2 pigs, and so they're, and they have their bedroom. And then on the door, I cut out a door opening, and so they can come in and go as they please. And then behind my shop here, I have like, it's probably like 3/4 of an acre fenced off. And so the pigs can just go out there. And then I have 2 chicken coops. Okay. And I think we have like 35, 40 chickens, and then the 4 ducks.
Oh.
And that's all I'm getting. I'm not getting any more.
Okay.
It's hard not to. They're just so cute when you go to Tractor Supply, and you see all the little chickens and ducks, and I want to bring them all home.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I have to look every time I'm at Tractor Supply. I'm like, stop it. Just keep walking. So where I live in the city, and the most you can have here in the city is 6 chickens. And so I'm maxed out. But 2 of them are very old, like from my original batch. And my husband's like, he calls them the freeloaders because they're not laying really that much. I'm like, I said, but they love me. I can't, like,
what can you do? Like, you can't do anything. You have to keep them.
I know. That's exactly what I said. And my brother, who, like, they live out in the country, and there's a lot of farmers out there, and he's like, I don't understand how your chickens can live so long, Sonnet, because normal chickens don't live as long as your chickens do. I said, I take very good care of them, okay?
They're spoiled.
Yes, they're very spoiled. So, yeah. I love it. Well, good. So you also have a greenhouse on your property. That's another area. So you love gardening too, and all the good things with that. You grow your own vegetables?
No, we have a lot of deer around us, and so I mean, I do have a space. We have a space all mapped out for our garden, and then like we'll do like a small like little fruit orchard behind there. But we just haven't had the time to build the fence, so we had to have like a 8-foot tall fence so the deer can't jump in and eat everything. So, but we just haven't made the time yet to get that garden done. So I'll do a little bit. Like I have those tower hydroponic gardens. So I'll use those. And then in my greenhouse, so me and my dad built that, I think maybe 3 years ago now. So I had collected just tons of old windows, and I saved them. And that's what we use that to build the greenhouse. But in there, it gets so hot. So we're in Utah, and it's just so hot in the summer. Oh. And so it's really hard to grow anything in there. You have to water it sometimes like twice a day just because it's so hot in there. But I do have like a lot of like I love olive trees, olive topiaries, and rosemary and stuff like that in there. Like it's just all like just pretty plants, like nothing. I do grow herbs, like in the winter and stuff like that in there, but I don't really use it. It's really like a greenhouse, really. Not yet anyway.
Yeah, I have a greenhouse too, and it became more of like where I get to put all like a bunch of decorations and just make things pretty in there. So
yeah. But I really neglected mine this year, so it needs to be cleaned out so bad. Like I let plants die. Like I was bad this year. I don't know. I was just overwhelmed, I think, with everything else there was to do. I just didn't. I'm like, they can go one more day without watering, but then I'd go in there and they'd be dead. So, oops.
It's okay. I feel like you're confessing your sins to me. I understand.
Yeah.
I know. I try to be good too, but
I forget.
Yeah, no, I understand. So one thing that I think people really love too about your Facebook page, not only do you showcase a lot of like the projects that are created or painted with Sweet Pickins, but you showcase a lot of your beautiful home decor. I just love seeing photos of like projects that you're doing. I loved it when you redid your whole kitchen. Like when did you start collecting all that beautiful stuff?
A lot of it. So my mom and dad, when I lived in my old house, so 6-7 years ago now, they worked for a bank. They worked for a bunch of banks, and they would clean out homes when they were foreclosed on. And sometimes they would get like these people would just leave behind like all of their stuff, and they didn't take it. And so when they would have those good houses like that, like I just go over there and I take my trailer and go over there and I would load up furniture that I wanted to paint. And then a lot of people just had just all the stuff, like collections or maybe just a few things here. But I would take it, and so that's where I got my stuff that I have now. And then I also, before when I lived in our old house, like right now we're like 45 minutes away from everybody in like the city, so it's harder to get, but in our old house I would have friends and they were like pickers, and they would have like these Facebook pages, and they would post, like, here's a milk can or whatever for sale, or I'm like, oh, I want it. And so I would just run over there real quick and just buy it from them. So, and then Facebook Marketplace too, I would get a lot of my stuff from there at the time. I didn't really go to thrift shops and stuff like that too much. I did here and there, but that's where most of it came from. I really haven't collected anything. I don't need to collect anything more. I haven't really gotten any new collections of like vintage stuff since we lived in this house.
Okay.
So I need to now collections because I have so much stuff.
Yes. I know. It's amazing, like over a period of time, after you just like start accumulating more and more. I was just at a friend's house and she's very minimalistic, and I am like looking around and I'm like, she's got like one thing sitting here, it's very different than me. And I'm like, people probably think like you're a dust collector, because I have so much stuff on my shelves. But I was just like, what she must think of me compared to what. So, but yeah. I love collections. So what is your favorite thing that you've collected?
Probably I have this hutch that I made out of old windows. I actually got old windows that had their casings all around them, which is hard to find. And so when I found those, I built a hutch, and I had a bunch of milk cans, and they're all like lining the top of that hutch. I think that's probably my favorite collection. And I really like old like spindles, like porch spindles. And I have like just buckets full, and they're just all crusty and chippy and dirty. And I just have buckets full of those in a couple rooms. So I really like those. But yeah, I just like stuff, really.
I like stuff. I know. I know exactly which hutch you're talking about, because I was like, oh my gosh, I love how she did the milk buckets on top. Well, and what a perfect home for that. Your ceilings seem like they just are like so tall. So
yeah, and I actually built that hutch in my old house, and I built it into the wall, like it was all attached to the wall, and because I filled it full. It's full of just white, like just white ceramic dishes and all that kind of stuff. So, but my mom's a real estate agent, and so when she listed her old house for sale, I'm like, you have to tell everybody that comes in, this hutch is not staying here. Like, it's going. Like, yeah. I knew I couldn't recreate it. So, and it had a perfect spot here for it in our new house. So that really worked out well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, your new house too is just gorgeous. So do you consider it a barn dominium, or what do you officially call it there in Utah?
No, it's not a barn dominium. It's just a regular stick frame house. Like, we have a basement.
Okay.
And it's just regular, I guess you call it stick frame house. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was a barn dominium. It kind of reminds me of one, kind of like the look, and I think maybe because of the ceilings and.
Oh, maybe, yeah. And the ceilings aren't that tall, I don't think. I think in that main entry or main area where that hutch is at, I think they're 12 feet.
Okay.
Maybe they're 14. No, I think they're 12. I think they're just 12 feet. So they're not. I mean, they're taller. but it's not not too tall.
Yeah, I know. Our dream is to have like something like find some acreage out in the country and build something and have like a shop there or like a space for my business there, because we live in town and our home is very cozy. Let's just put it that way. It's very cozy, but
I'm really glad that we got these 5 acres and we took the plunge and decided to move. Like our old area was just growing too much. Like my daughter's school was like seriously was a half mile away, but just because of all of the new homes that were in the area, it would take me like 45 minutes to get her to school and then back home, which is with all the traffic and stuff. So we just get out. So that's why we ended up here.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. I mean, it all like worked out for you. So, wow, I am so excited that we, had this conversation today and that my, viewers and listeners are able to finally meet you. Because like I said before, I knew of Sweet Pickins before, but I'm glad that we finally get to see the face behind Sweet Pickins. So, as we're wrapping up, is there any last minute things that you want anyone to know about Sweet Pickins?
I don't know.
I'm like, it's not a trick question. I swear. But yeah, no, I'm just
not necessarily I can think of. Yeah. So we just make our milk paint and we have our paint lines. We have our wall paint. I don't think a lot of people know that. Like the farmhouse finishes is milk paint that's specially formulated for walls. So that's kind of cool and that's another thing too, is we need to get that and promote that even more. That's why I want to do the new colors with that line so I can actually use them in my house, because I don't, those are colors that I would use in my house. So, but yeah, so we're just working on that and then just growing the paint line and then getting to videos soon. So,
good. Well, I'm excited that you're diving back into YouTube and videos, and you can definitely repurpose a lot of those videos too for Facebook. So that's awesome.
I know. Yeah. I know. Hopefully, I have 2. Those big shipping containers.
Yes.
Like like they're like 40 feet long. I have 2 of those full of furniture that I brought with me to this house, and so. I have so much stuff. Like I have projects for years. So I have the inventory. I've got the paint. I just need the time now.
Yes.
To get those videos done. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see. I'm excited. And you need to clean out those shipping containers.
I know.
Oh, I love it.
Terrible. Yeah. Hopefully they're all still in good. I think they're pretty waterproof, so, but hopefully everything's still in good shape. So it's been a while since I've looked in them. But my husband, he can just get everything out of here, but it took me a long time to collect all that stuff.
I know. I have to tell you, my husband, whenever I find a good find, well, because like around here, now it's spring and everybody gets the itch to like clean stuff out and they just throw it on the curb. And when I see stuff that's in really good condition, I grab it. And then my husband's like, there's going to be another one just like that. No. Leave it. I'm like, there's not going to be. There's not. I'm grabbing it.
I know. And when it's free and it's good shape, like you can't just leave it behind. Like even if you don't need it, you'll need it one day.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel. I love it. Yeah. No, we can't. So, well, I am so glad that I had you on my podcast. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I know that, my viewers are going to absolutely love this and finally get to meet you. And like I said, really see the face behind Sweet Pickins. So thank you. Now, you guys, Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So in next week's episode, you guys, I am going to be talking about changes coming to the Maker's Box. I am super excited, and it is an exciting announcement. So something that has been in the works for a bit, and it's all thanks to you guys and feedback that I've been receiving from you. So mark it on your calendars for that episode. You don't want to miss out on the changes. Now, if you are listening on any of the podcast platforms, do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss out on an episode. And if you are watching on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so you don't miss out on an episode. And then you guys can find me on all the other socials like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Sonnets Garden Blooms, where I post out a ton more content. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much. Bye.